It was just another late night at Harper Technologies, Texas. The office floors gleamed under the soft fluorescent lights, but the air was heavy with tension. Most of the employees had already gone home, but one man stayed behind, Daniel Reed, the janitor. He was a quiet man with tired eyes, worn-out boots, and a slow but steady gait. To everyone else, he was invisible, just another face who swept the halls. But behind that humble exterior lived a brilliant mind, a mind that once solved complex algorithms and built systems for tech firms across the country. That life had ended when his wife passed away suddenly, leaving him alone with his little daughter, Emily. He'd traded the keyboard for a mop to give her a stable life, never expecting that one night would bring him back to the world he thought he had left behind. As Daniel mopped near the glass-walled boardroom, he heard raised voices. Inside, the executives of Harper Technologies were pacing frantically, faces pale with panic. "We've lost everything. The backup's gone," one shouted. The company's central data system had crashed, wiping out files worth over $100 million, client information, contracts, entire projects. The CEO, Laura Hayes, slammed her hand on the table. "If we don't recover it in the next hour, investors will walk away," she said sharply. Daniel froze. He had overheard enough tech talk in his previous life to understand the gravity of what was happening. For a moment, he thought about ignoring it. After all, it wasn't his business, but something inside him refused to walk away from a problem he could solve. When the boardroom doors finally opened and the executives rushed out to make desperate calls, Daniel stepped inside. The large screen still flickered with error codes. Lines of corrupted data flashed before his eyes. He took a deep breath, the memories of his past life flooding back, the countless nights he had spent debugging code, the thrill of making systems run again. Sitting in the CEO's chair, he adjusted his glasses, fingers trembling slightly, then moving with precision. Within seconds, his hands flew across the keyboard, swift, deliberate, confident. The hum of the servers shifted, the lights blinked. He entered a few final lines of code, pressed enter, and held his breath. A few seconds later, the screen changed from red to green. The data reappeared, every file, every line, every number, restored. Moments later, the CEO stormed back into the room, followed by the stunned tech team. "What happened?" Laura gasped, staring at the screen in disbelief. Daniel turned toward her slowly. "It's fixed," he said simply, his voice calm, almost apologetic. "You fixed it," she whispered, unable to believe what she was seeing. The room fell silent except for the faint hum of the servers. "Who are you?" one of the engineers asked. Daniel hesitated, then replied, "I used to be a software engineer. But after my wife passed, I needed something steady, for my daughter." For a long moment, no one spoke. Then, one by one, the team began to clap. The sound echoed through the boardroom, louder, stronger, proud. That night, Daniel didn't just fix a computer glitch. He fixed something deeper, an unspoken reminder that greatness can come from anywhere, even from someone society overlooks. Laura Hayes, still in awe, approached him quietly. "You saved this company, Daniel," she said. "And I won't let your talent go unnoticed." For the first time in years, Daniel smiled, a small, genuine smile filled with relief. He didn't ask for money or recognition. All he wanted was to get home to Emily and tell her that maybe, just maybe, life was turning around. As he walked out into the cool Texas night, the city lights reflected off the windows of Harper Technologies, and the janitor everyone ignored had become the silent hero of the company's greatest crisis. 4 days after saving Harper Technologies from collapse, Daniel Reed decided to take a quiet drive through the vast, sunburnt deserts of New Mexico. The red sand stretched endlessly, the wind whispering through dry sage and cactus fields. He needed to clear his mind, to breathe beyond the walls of offices and screens. Life had changed suddenly. People at work now looked at him differently, no longer just as the janitor, but as the man who saved a company. Yet, in his heart, Daniel remained the same. A father, a widower, a man trying to find peace in a world that often forgot to look deeper. The road was long and silent until something in the distance caught his eye. At first, he thought it was just a shadow, a discarded blanket perhaps, fluttering in the heat. But as he got closer, his chest tightened. There, on the side of the highway, lay a small child, thin, dust-covered, and barely breathing. Daniel slammed the brakes and ran toward him. The boy's lips were cracked, his skin burned from the sun. He was no older than 7, wrapped in torn cloth. Daniel's hands trembled as he lifted the frail child into his arms. "Hang on, buddy," he whispered. He sped toward the nearest town, the desert blurring past. At the hospital, doctors rushed to take the boy in, shaking their heads in disbelief. "He's been lost for days," one said. "If you hadn't found him now, he wouldn't have survived the night." Daniel sank into a chair, relief flooding through him. Hours passed, but Daniel didn't leave. He sat beside the boy's bed as machines beeped steadily. The child's face was peaceful now, but Daniel could see the pain carved into it, the hunger, the loneliness, the fear. The doctors said he was Apache, one of the indigenous tribes native to the region. No ID, no name, no records. Just a lost soul in a harsh desert. Daniel felt something stir inside him, the same compassion that had guided him through life's toughest storms. He brought the boy water, read stories from the hospital library, and even prayed quietly, asking God to help the child heal. Nurses offered to take over, but Daniel refused. He shouldn't wake up alone, he said softly. By the third night, the boy's eyes fluttered open. He didn't speak English, but he smiled weakly, his fingers reaching out to grip Daniel's hand. That simple gesture, trust, was enough. The next morning, Daniel filled out forms, stayed in touch with the authorities, and promised to care for the boy until his family could be found. He returned to his small home outside Santa Fe, exhausted but at peace. Then, on the 4th day, just as dawn painted the desert sky gold, there came a gentle knock on his door. When Daniel opened it, 3 Apache women stood there, wrapped in traditional blankets, their faces marked with tears. One of them stepped forward, holding a small carved pendant in her hand. "You saved our blood," she said softly, her voice trembling. "Our tribe owes you more than words can ever say." Daniel's throat tightened. The boy stood beside them now, alive, healthy, smiling shyly. The women handed him the pendant, a wooden eagle, wings spread, carved with intricate detail. It was, they explained, a symbol of eternal gratitude and protection in their culture. Daniel tried to refuse at first, but they insisted. "You saw our child when no one else did. You gave him back to us. This belongs to you now." He accepted it with quiet humility, his eyes glistening. As the women walked away, Daniel looked down at the pendant resting in his palm, feeling the warmth of its meaning. It wasn't gold or silver, but it was far more precious, a reminder that kindness still echoed beyond borders, beyond names. That day, standing under the vast New Mexico sky, Daniel understood something profound. It's not power or wealth that defines a person, but compassion. The kind that turns the most ordinary man into a true hero.